Bem-vindos ao Xiphefu Cast! Eu sei.
Nice.
Hoje vamos ter um episódio super especial. Temos aqui um convidado mega, na verdade, massive especial, que vou apresentá-lo dentro de instantes. E, guys, desta vez vamos fazer esse podcast um pouco diferente. Vamos fazer em inglês. É um challenge para mim, mas vou tentar aqui. Estamos aqui com Marijn.
Sim.
Com Marijn. So now I will change to English, guys. So be confident on that. So Marijn, he's the founder manager of Orange Corners Innovation Fund in Mozambique. He's growing in US and Japan.
Yeah.
Worked across more than 20 countries around the world. More than 20 countries around the world.
Right.
Oh man, it's crazy. And he just have 40 years old. Somewhere I lost my years because he works in 20 years, more than 20 years, more than 20 countries, and you just have 40 years. It's crazy, man. Okay, we'll come to it too. Yeah. And also, he works in financing small businesses in Africa, across Africa. Started companies, fintechs in Ghana and Rwanda. Mm-hmm. How to be like everything in just one guy. So, Marijn, welcome to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. And just introduce yourself, man.
I mean, the pleasure is all mine, first of all. And I think my English is easier to understand than my Portuguese. So,
speak some Portuñol.
Not even, no. So actually my wife is Portuguese.
Oh, really?
I hear Portuguese in the house all the time.
Yeah.
So I know how to tell you to go to bed, to eat your vegetables, because she speaks Portuguese to the kids.
Yeah. Fine.
But there's no business Portuguese, unfortunately.
Oh. Yeah. But no problem, you can do in English, no problem.
Yeah. And like you said, I did grow up in the United States and Japan as a teenager, and the Netherlands. And I went to school, actually I finished my university in New Zealand.
Really?
And then after university, I moved to Tanzania. So I've been lucky and fortunate to have this sort of international exposure.
But you born in Netherlands?
Yeah. I'm born in the Netherlands to Dutch parents. I lived there until I was 10.
Yeah.
Sort of a normal life, and then just the international life happened.
And you have this project. Which is the first country that you move on?
United States.
United States. Yeah.
We moved to the south, so to Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Which is the south east of the United States.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia.
I don't have a singing voice. No, that's and it was, for me, it was massive. I remember the feeling of walking out of the airport, right? So I'd been in the plane once before, actually, take it a few years back. In 1990, I was 6 or 7 years old, and my uncle, my mother's brother, was living in Nairobi, and he was working on water supply. And actually, my parents, they saved money for a long time, and we went to Nairobi. We went to Kenya for 6 weeks. And that was obviously life-changing because the world opens up to you. Yeah. Back in that time, we didn't know much about the rest of the world, let alone Africa, right? So you just learn about your little life in school and the house, and it opens up your world. And we moved to the US when I was 10, and I remember walking out of the airport and like just this heat, because it was a heat wave, and I've never felt anything like just the heat hitting you, and like this feeling of, in the 90s, America was the opportunity, right? The land of opportunity. You go there and the life was different, and you start seeing all these kind of things that you can do and achieve and make, and like everything is bright lights, and so I think that changed a lot in me, and kind of I've been reaching for that high ever since, I guess.
Yeah. But in that time, you didn't have this mind about opportunity. You were just a kid.
I'm just a kid.
Just a kid.
I'm just a kid.
Yeah. And when you moved to Japan?
It was 3 years later, so when I was 13. Yeah.
So how was Japan? You had the same feeling when you arrived there?
So before moving to Japan, I had no idea about Japan, to be honest. Yeah. I was, I'm a teenager. What am I doing? I'm playing basketball and I'm looking for friends. Right?
Actually, it's very tall, guys. It's very, very tall. You see him sitting, but it's very tall.
Yeah. So I we didn't want to go. I have 3 brothers, and we didn't want to go to Japan because we had no idea, right? And I think that sometimes stops you because you don't know something, so you start creating something in your head, and you go, I don't like sushi, I don't want to go to Japan, right? And it's completely stupid, but as a child, but you still have these feelings when you're older, right? Sometimes you have a judgment about a place that you haven't been or someone that you haven't met, and you go, this is what I think of them, and then when you meet them, it's completely different. So when we get to Japan, it was incredible. It was amazing. It was just, for us, it's very safe. There's a lot of freedom to move around. It's easy. Everything is different. And it was an exciting time. Yeah. And then we moved back to the Netherlands when I was 16. So I spent 6 years abroad as a teenager. Yeah.
So very nice. Very interesting journey, man. The US, Japan, and then Netherlands.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next. So where you comes out to start this journey about 20 countries that you were working on is, come on, 20, more than 20. Even you don't know.
Yeah. Somewhere you stop counting, right?
It's like 1, 2, okay, 20, 20 plus.
Well, there's one job opportunity that I had that enabled me to do that.
So, but it's important to me to say in which age you was in that time, because I want to understand where I lost my age.
I think I didn't start working until late. So actually I had a lot of difficulty at university. So I took a long time at university.
Really?
And I think I started my working life when I was 26.
Okay.
So I don't know what age you are.
Okay, but you started in 26. So you started in boost because 26 is not like here, it's like
14 years.
14 years, but wow.
Yeah, so actually what happened, so I think my struggle was, I want to talk a little bit about that. I don't speak to friends about it. I don't really, because it's sort of something I was ashamed of, right? At university, I failed my first year and I failed my second year.
Yeah.
My second time doing my first year.
Wow.
But the third year, I had help from somebody within university that helped me sort of get on track.
Yeah.
Right? So it's, I owe a lot to that person because I was willing to do the work, I was just not doing it the right way. So sometimes if you have good intentions and you work hard, it still goes wrong.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And then actually after I finished university, I spent some time traveling, mostly through Asia. So just a backpack. And
so that's the reason that you failed the first and the second?
No, so after my university, I traveled.
Okay.
Yeah. So because I did not know really what I wanted to do. I had an idea.
Yeah.
I always wanted to work. I have friends all over, and some of these friends are working jobs that don't allow them to even go home at night because they don't earn enough to take a bus back home, right?
Okay.
And I always wanted to work in a situation where we can create businesses that provide opportunity to people that are in situations where there is no opportunity right now because either they're being exploited or there just isn't money to go around. So I always knew I wanted to do that, and actually when I graduated university, on the first day of my university master's degree, actually I met a Portuguese lady.
Okay.
She said something about watching a documentary about Tanzania, and I had been to Tanzania, so I said, oh, maybe we should go when we graduate. Yeah. And we went. So actually when we graduated, we moved to Tanzania.
At that time,
2009. So
2009.
I was 26.
So this Portuguese lady, on that time, she was wife or just girlfriend?
Just girlfriend.
Just girlfriend.
I made sure. Again, opportunity comes up a lot. Right? So when you're ready to take the opportunity, you have to make sure. So actually, and I have to say, she contacted an organization in Tanzania. They were able to get her to come work there for a few months, and I went along. So that's where it started, my career in Tanzania.
Yeah. Actually, no, you're misunderstanding. Your journey doesn't start with the Tanzania.
No.
It started with that lady.
Yes. No, all credit, of course.
Credit, Copyright.
But I hope she watches this. No, I worked throughout university. So I was doing work at call centers. I was working in restaurants, cooking and things like that. So I did work. Yeah. But my first sort of step to where I am now was in Tanzania.
Oh, okay. And let's talk about the now you say we're married.
Yeah.
3 kids.
Yeah.
you married 3 kids and you work around 20 countries around the world.
Yeah.
And how's to manage that? Because even me, that I'm very close to my friend, to my family.
Yeah.
It's a difficult challenge because you need to get time to the kids, need to get time to the wife,
Yeah.
to family, everything, and also the business. You need to have all the focus on that. It's quite challenging. And with your routine, I'm not getting how to manage the things.
Yeah. Well, you don't manage it alone.
Yeah.
I think you know that. I don't. You know, there is some sacrifice to it, but it's strange saying it's a sacrifice because I get to be here in Mozambique chatting with you in something completely different than any of my friends are sort of going through. So I feel very fortunate, but it is a sacrifice because you spend a week away from your family. You know, I don't know. It's a choice. It's a choice. You know.
We talk about the choice. Remember, there's a choice that we made. Yeah. So we must have some sacrifice. Yeah, but most of the time, in my case, for example, I sacrifice most of the time not my direct family like my wife and my kids, but my close friends, my close family. Yeah. We don't have too much time to be with them.
Yeah.
And sometimes they understand, but sometimes they not. It's a challenge, what to do.
I think that's difficult, and I think it's really strong of you to make that choice, right? Yeah. You're choosing for your family, your relationship, your career, your work, and I think good friends understand that.
Yeah.
I think good friends appreciate that, and I think that's really important to have. Yeah. It's not easy, but I'll tell you, my kids, I don't travel for fun. Well, it is very fun, but it's not the reason I'm here, right? Yeah. I'm here because I think that it's my role. First of all, it's my role to whom much is given, much is expected. So I think it's important to give. And I think it's important to do meaningful work, right? And you're always going to be balanced because you have a Friday night. Do you spend it with your kids or do you spend it with your friends? You always have a choice to make.
Yeah.
But I think there's big decisions and small decisions. Yeah. There's going to be 5 or 10 decisions that determine your life path, right?
Yeah.
So maybe for you, it's who your partner is, or are you going to start a company or works for someone, or maybe where you settle down as a family. But another big decision is how you choose to sort of approach your life, and I think you're saying it. I know that I choose for my family and my work. I think that's what I heard you say, and then sometimes friendships are after that. Yeah.
Usually they after that. Yeah. But as you say, good friends understand that it's a journey, it's a choice, it's a given that you have something to do. It's not about just you, but it's about everybody around you. Yeah. Because it should be something like selfish to just no, it's about me. I want to take my career. No, it's not about this thing. Yeah. We impact life. You impact many lives during your journey. Yeah, which we chat a little bit when we're gonna need to spoke more about that in this podcast. And 3 kids, wife, and they're in Netherlands or they're here?
They're in the Netherlands.
So, but they're always in Netherlands, or sometimes they change the country with you. How?
We moved to. We lived in Rwanda. So in 2019. January, we moved to Rwanda, and we sold our house in the Netherlands, and we went there. So we went all together.
You have this kind of decision, like for me, it's risky. Not to sell my house.
I'm not saying it wasn't risky,
but I think for you, it's more easier. I'm gonna sell my house. I do this with cars. I can sell my car. It's easier for me, but sell my house, like wow, no, I will not sell my house.
Yeah, maybe it's a different. Situation. I have to say it was a good time to sell our house as well.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. It was. No. I think with risk, a lot of people think that I take big risks.
Yeah.
I take risks, but what I always worry about is the downside, what they call downside protection. So if you fall, how far do you fall?
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know if you've ever been in a. Well, of course, you've been in a big building, but in a high building, the stairs, they don't go up for 6 stories.
Yeah.
They turn around every time. So if you fall down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the way I approach these risks.
Yeah.
I don't risk. I don't take unnecessary risks. But I think Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah,
it worked out.
Yeah, we did the same. Me and my wife when we start this business.
Yeah.
Actually, we started 3 businesses, actually most of the same time, and we was working for many companies during 14 years. We started work to year. We started on 19. We was 19
Really?
when started. Yeah.
Wait, do your listeners know how old you are?
35.
Okay. Yeah.
And my first job, I was a driver.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after some time, we feel that we achieve the top of the mountain that we will no more realize it was more about the money, but not about something that we're doing with the pleasure. You understand? Yeah. And actually, she did the first step. She cut her job. Yeah. And I was like, "What are you doing?"
See, that's a risk. That's a real risk.
And after 2 years, I did the same.
Yeah.
But as I say, it's important to manage that, doing something like a baseline. Like you have something to manage you for pay accounts, school for the kids. We have kids, right? Yeah. The school for the kids before the business starts growing itself. Yeah. And we did that, and it was a risk.
Did you talk about this decision sort of beforehand?
Yeah, well, I think 2 years just chatting and let's start. No, I'm the one who say no, and she said let's say no. And one day she called me crying. I'm tired. I want to leave the job. And I said, okay, baby, okay. Just do it. Just do it. And she wrote the letter on that day, and she said, come on, how fast you are. She put the letter there, and she cut his job, and she started the first business. Yeah. Okay, I continued doing some consulting for some NGOs, etc. Yeah. But also I was tired because I usually have 2 jobs. Yeah. Like I do it first in the morning, in the afternoon. In the afternoon I start another one until the night, and I come. When I go to the house, it's about 10 or 12 midnight. Sometimes it was tough routine. You know, we have money, but you are not happy. You know.
Quality.
Quality life. Yeah, quite life. It was tough. So I make decisions. Okay, I have to stop this. Yeah. Money is not everything. I have to build something. Yeah. So then we was having Xiphefu already, but running very low. Yeah. And then we start like doing like what you see today. Yeah. And actually we impact some lives. So we like that. Yeah. We like that. Yeah. And now I have the reason to wake up, you know. Yeah. Even my kids, they like it. My kids, when they spoke about Xiphefu, you know, something like Xiphefu. Yeah, that's my kid. That's my parent. Yeah. It's good for me to understand that they understand what I'm doing. They understand the process. We usually talk with them. So what we are doing, when we are in this situation, we have something that there's some, you know, the Thursday pizza that we usually do every week. Yeah. We have to cut, but they understand that.
They understand.
Yeah, and sometimes we have to put like to give them with something that you really like, some travels, and they like to go to the resorts, for example, with this. Yeah. But I'm talking too much about me. This is about the host.
What I'm really interested about.
I have a question.
Okay. Do you want to come on the microphone?
No, we do like this.
Okay. All right.
I would like to know the name of his wife and child. I would like to know to be recorded.
So my wife, her name is Eva.
Eva, what?
Yeah.
And, so Adam.
Something like that. Huh? No, and my children are Matteo, he's 10, Vincent, he's 7, and Layla, she's 6. So 2 boys and then 1 girl. Yeah. And they're great kids. Independent, smart, fun. Yeah. Each of them knows how to twerk. So that's their little. They don't have my dancing. They have my wife's dancing.
Good for that.
Trust me. You've seen me. No. Yeah. No, but what I was wondering about your situation, right? You talk about sort of you get into work and you work really hard. I was say something else, but you work really hard to get to where you are, and then you feel like you're comfortable financially, which is not an easy thing to achieve. When you gave that up, did you feel like if this fails, I will be okay? Or did you give that up and go, this is it, we have to go full speed, even work even harder? How does that?
I was afraid actually.
Yeah.
But there's something that I didn't mention. When I had those money, then I was getting that level. And sometimes I feel that I was getting little rude, I think I was not mature enough for that level.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I understand that I have to do something different because I'm not that guy. You understand?
Yeah.
So
no, I know. I can see that.
So I changed the approach. When she did the first step, I move on.
Yeah.
Ladies are. If you have a good lady, it's everything. But if you chose bad, also it's everything. So we have a good choice, I think. So I saw that you have a choice. Yeah. And to be like step down and see the different perspective about the life.
Yeah.
Change everything because now I understand many situations that people are passing.
Yeah.
That in that time I was thinking, they're passing this, but now I really understand because you feel that in your in your skin.
Yeah.
So you understand how what I have to do to come up and do and achieve that level again, but in different way.
Yeah.
That way, by using my business, by using my intelligence,
Your passion.
my passion,
Yeah.
with the support of my wife, because we are together on this journey. So.
Is that what gives you the confidence?
Sorry?
Because you need to have confidence to make that decision.
Yeah, but doesn't come like this.
Yeah.
You pass some situations
Yeah.
that today for me doesn't
Yeah.
make me afraid. But on that time, like small thing, if this thing comes to
It's not perfect.
Yeah. But today, if it is okay, no problem. I can do this and do this. Everything is working okay. Let's continue. So the confidence comes with the challenges that I face. Yeah. So when I'm Christian, when I'm praying, I'm asking for wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom doesn't come like when you're sleeping and let's say the angel comes to take the wisdom.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work like that. If you want the wisdom, God will put you in some situation that we have to challenge the situation, that we have to be like smart to be out of that situation. Comes the wisdom.
Yeah.
So I have passed through some situations that I have to grow up mentally. So
you by dealing with challenges, you're building the confidence to deal with other challenges.
Exactly.
And you're actually growing as a person.
That's why I think today the problem that they're coming, but for me today it's not a problem, it's just a situation.
Exactly. That's a very important mindset shift. And I think, I read a little bit, and there's something called Stoicism. And Stoicism is basically how to deal. I don't know exactly what Stoicism is, to be honest, so you might want to cut this part. But there's a book by Ryan Holiday called The Obstacle is the Way. And it's exactly that. It's not, you don't go around the obstacle. You deal with it, and through that you grow as a person. Yeah. I think maybe another scenario. They used to have these things called a biodome, and a biodome was basically like a big dome made out of glass or plastic, and they would plant all these trees and water to see if they can create like a small world. Right? And the problem was the trees, they were not strong. So the trees were not growing well. Do you know why? It's because in the nature, a tree is always exposed to wind. Right? There's always wind, and that makes the tree stronger. If there's no wind, the tree, it does not grow the strength to hold itself up. And I don't know if this is true or not, because this is something I heard 10 years ago and I just remembered, but it does make sense. It is something, so I think it's really important what you said, is that you deal with challenges, and that's how you grow the confidence. It doesn't come to you like that.
No. And we're still growing. No, it doesn't mean that we are in the top. No, we still we have. Everybody that works here in this company, they know that if you be in this company, like it's a company, a small company, guys, don't work. This is a big thing. We have to bring something new. Like we have this, let's say this device, and we want to explain what it is, but we have to bring something that we didn't achieve yet.
Yeah.
So it's a process of growing. If you come to just to replicate in 2 years, this thing will be like obsolete. You understand? So we have to grow like every day. Think about the phones.
Yeah.
Today we have a mobile phone. You can make a chat. You can make some mails. Everything that we didn't do in the phone. But before we have to do that thing that you have to and call some call center. The call center will call for your house. Yeah? So, but today things shift. So that is a process and it takes many years. So we have to do this process, and we don't need to take many years, but we need to grow every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about like ChatGPT or AI?
It's a fever today. Like everyone, ChatGPT. So yeah, that's a good question, because I'm not the guy who, like, when some technology comes out and I stop everything and go and I have to learn this. No, I do when it's necessary. Yeah. And you have to justify my effort on that, because I'm 35, man. I can lose my time like just changing the thing because it's new things there. I don't know. I can use sometimes, but
so you use it as a tool. It's not like a solution. It's a tool to help you. With
Today for me is that. But if I find a project, or you're being invited to the project to do something that I have to use ChatGPT, I will be there. I have been challenged years before by NGO to make a scan to read the paper, and not just a picture, but to read like the text and digitalize that to database like in real time.
Okay.
I didn't know it did have to do that. I spent like days learning some features in Python. I learned a lot. I didn't sleep. Like sometimes I have a meeting like in morning. It's Monday morning. I start doing my preparing meeting on Sunday, and I didn't sleep until the meeting. You understand that? Like 24 hours to prepare that and go to and present. But finally I did that. Using your phone, you can capture the data, like not picture, and read like papers. And people like this and can read these and put in the database. This is the picture. I did that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I didn't like spend time like I have to learn something. No, I do because I have to do. Just it. Yeah.
Great. That's amazing. I'm amazed at what you do and how you achieve it.
Yeah, thank you.
You take on roles that you're not sure you can do, but you don't seem to be scared.
Yeah, I'm not as scared. I have my wife to catch me back. Actually, I have something to ask you.
Enough about my wife.
No, not about your wife. But you when we met the first time, you asked me if we have a relation. How you feel that? You see something that shows you?
No, I don't know. I wish I had a good answer to that question. No.
Because you asked me, do you have some relations? Okay. How you get in that point? You see something like?
No, I didn't. No, there was no. I didn't see.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm hiding well.
No, but I think we know. And then I don't pay any compliments anymore. But I think we know behind every successful man is a very strong and successful woman.
Okay.
Seeing you be successful, I thought there must be something there.
Okay, so let's back to you. You shift the conversation. You shift the conversation. So how's about the fintechs that you opened in Ghana and Rwanda? Talk a little bit about that.
I'd love to. So in I think I joined the organization. It's a bit tricky, but I joined them in about 2015. And there was an entrepreneur in Ghana called Samuel Waterberg, and Samuel had been working on an idea of a micro pension company. So I think it might be similar in Mozambique. It's definitely similar-ish. In Ghana, about 85% of the people working are not on a sort of employment contract, right? So unless you work at a bank or the government or maybe one of the big telcos, you don't have a work contract. And if you don't have a work contract, it means obviously you don't have a stable income, but you also don't have anybody saving towards old age for you. Because if you're working for a bank, they have to save, right? I don't know what the institution is called here. I think INSS. INSS. they put some money in, and when you're old, you receive some money.
Yeah.
Right? But for 85% of the population in Ghana, they don't have an employment contract. They have no savings for a pension.
Yeah.
So you can save for your own pension, and you can put your money in your pillow.
Yeah.
But the problem in Ghana at the time was inflation was between 15 and 20%.
No.
Which means that if you save money for 30 years, it's not even worth the paper that it's printed on, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not assuming inflation would stay high, but there's no value in saving the money as cash.
Yeah.
There was also not really a government pension that would be able to maintain your lifestyle when you're old. So there's obviously a need to save money. Now, where can you save money? At a bank. Do people enjoy particularly working with banks or going to banks? Not really, because it's also not a specific pension product. So we came up with a product that was fitting for these people that are sort of the 85%. We call them informal sector workers. It's the gig economy nowadays, but a taxi driver, a market trader, a farmer. So we made a pension product where you can put in however much you want, whenever you want. So one day it can be, if I just use dollars, $1, another day it can be $5, it's up to you. And we would invest that money, and the interest rates, the investments that we made were mostly in what we call government bonds, or T-bills, and these government bonds were all short-term, and the government is borrowing money basically with these bonds. And they can only borrow money if the interest rate is higher than inflation. So they're always higher than inflation. This is not financial advice. They're not always higher than inflation, but in general, the T-bills were outperforming inflation by about 5%. So if inflation was like 16%, the T-bills would net us 21%. So instead of keeping your money under your pillow and earning nothing, you're making, let's say, 5 or 6% in real value every year.
Yeah.
So then it becomes worthwhile to save for your pension. So that's the company that we set up. I was not living in Ghana at the time.
Yeah.
I was living in the Netherlands, and my role was more on fundraising, so raising money with investors to set up the company. It was in developing partnerships, internationally especially. So in understanding human behavior, how do you, as a market trader, think about retirement? How do you think about saving for the long term? How do you make something automatic? So I save for my pension, but it's automatic. Because if I don't do it automatic, I'm not going to do it. Because you think, okay, I can buy these shoes, or maybe I can, when I'm 67 or whatever, I can use it. So so we did partnerships on human behavior and like how to make a product that fits the needs.
The needs and the reality.
Yeah, exactly. So that was, and Samuel built a team of up to 50 people in Ghana, and at the time that I left the organization, we had 50,000 customers.
Okay.
And currently, I'm not sure what the customer number is, but I would like to share a story about that, if possible.
You can.
Yeah. So one of the things we were able to do was we were able to raise money to set up an office in East Africa. So because the challenge is similar, not the same. Every country has, first of all, different population, different culture, different regulations. Because this was something new. So actually, the regulator in Ghana, which is the sort of institute that makes sure that pension money is used the way you say, it's legal, it's done well. They had never had a micro pension company, as we called it. So the legislation actually changed to accommodate our business.
Oh, really?
So,
but you achieved that changes, really?
Yeah. Samuel did, yeah. So it's, and I think it's something that benefits the whole market, and not just our company. So we raised money to set up a company in East Africa. It was a bit of a messy time and how that was raised, but the summary was we set up a company in Rwanda, and that's when I moved to Rwanda to set up that company. This is 2019. We had some challenges in the first year in setting up the company, mostly around how the product fits the markets, what kind of benefits we can offer. Because one of the benefits we offered in Ghana, which was very successful, was that you can take out half your savings anytime, no questions asked. Because if you are working and you don't have insurance and you have an accident,
Yeah.
And you have all this pension savings, and it's just sitting there, and you can't pay for your hospital. That's not a situation that you want to create, accommodate. So you're able to take out half of the money. And what actually happened was a lot of people, when they saved, they would take out a tiny bit just to see if it works, how it works, right? Because sometimes you're told things like, oh, you can have your money anytime.
But
and then
actually not.
They're like, great, you have this form, you have that form, you have to do this, you have to jump through a hoop, So, and the thing is, with our product in Rwanda, we had to make a pivot. So I think you as an entrepreneur know sometimes you change either your product or your market.
Yeah, most of the time.
We made a pivot, and that was around the end of 2019. And then 2020 happened. I don't know if you remember, we had this thing called COVID.
I don't remember well. COVID.
You remember that time when you were with the kids all day? That time. So actually what happened was, we were in Rwanda, COVID happened, all the schools closed. We were thinking, okay, what do we do? Do we stay here, or do we go to the Netherlands for like a month? So I have made mistakes. I thought we'll go for a month and then we'll come back.
Come on. Right? No, because we didn't know how big it is.
No,
it was.
No, it's true. I definitely underestimated. So we went to the Netherlands. And remember I told you we sold our house. So I moved in with my parents at, I guess I was age 36, 37, living with my parents. And it was great because actually the other co-founder of the company was my father. So we worked together with Samuel. And then Samuel told us he got sick. So he caught COVID and he passed away. This is the end of March 2020.
Sorry to hear
so
that.
So there was, I didn't tell you this before. So this, it was a very difficult time personally. It was a Friday, and that Friday he was going to close in an investment with hopefully he was going to speak to like the directors to sort of kind of. We thought he was going to close 2 investments into our company because, that's the way he was. He was able to get it done. So he passed, and then that weekend, my father and I cried a lot. And then on Monday, we had to get to work, right? So this is like the height of the first COVID peak. Samuel, our friend, had passed away, but we had 50,000 customers and 50 staff in Ghana. And we were incredibly fortunate that one of the investors was also an entrepreneur in Ghana and a close friend of Samuel, and he took over as CEO. Okay. And he also invested into the company, and he saved, he saved the company.
He saved the company,
it wasn't only him, it wasn't only us. There were a lot of people that were very invested, not financially, but very invested into the success of this company, that wanted it to succeed, that put their ass on the line to make it succeed. And so we were able to raise additional money, and we were able to find this new CEO, and that was in about August. So it took about 4 or 5 months to get this all arranged. And I have to add that the contract took another 2 years, but in principle everything was there. And in August, when we sort of realized, okay, the company is okay, we felt very empty. There was no joy, and you kind of expect every time when you raise money as a company, it's a celebration. The hard work starts, but it's a celebration. And we felt nothing. We felt just empty inside, and we didn't process the death of Samuel. And so my father and I both stepped out of the company as part of the kind of the transition. And in the meantime, I still had an organization in Rwanda with a few workers, a few employees, sort of in the field. We made sure we kept paying them throughout. But we weren't sure what was going to happen with the project, because when the Ghana company was on hold, the company in Rwanda, the investor also said, let's see what happens. So it was a difficult time. We were adapting to being back in the Netherlands. We had to find a new place to live. And fortunately, we were able to continue the project in Rwanda, or the startup. It's project funding, but for us it was always, this is a business. but we didn't achieve what we wanted to achieve. So we did pivot to a great product. I felt it was a great product. The product market fit was there, but it was too little, too late, and we had to close the company. And so that's when I talk about, I never say I founded two successful fintechs. It was a journey. I think People's Pension Trust in Ghana is a fantastic company with fantastic leadership, and the team is great. And I miss that time dearly. And that's a fintech.
No,
fintech
but
in
the
Rwanda,
things you changed the legislation. You see, the legislation changed just because. Yeah, this is not a small thing. The legislation changed not because of you, or not because of the company, but changed because of Ghana. The Ghana people today have opportunity to have this kind of service just because you did that. Yeah. So it's not like a fail. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I was part of a big team that made this happen, right? So sometimes as if you're in a business and you're one of the sort of founding team, you can get the same way you were talking about your job. You can get sort of arrogant about it, right? Like, I am an entrepreneur, therefore I change this. But you cannot do it alone.
No, of course not.
You cannot do it even with your partner, but also the wider people, like the people around you that are supporting you. Like even little things. Like we got opportunity to go. Last time I saw Samuel we had the opportunity to go to Cape Town for a 3-day training on behavioral change. So it's how to use behavioral change in your product. We had organizations come in and work with us and do research and to connect us to people. And it's just, one of the things that I learned from that process, especially from Samuel, is he was kind to everybody. And he had the ability to speak. And I think, I think I'm not comparing you, but I think I see it in you guys as well, is that you could go into a boardroom and talk to, the highest boss, be nicely dressed up, present yourself well and chat. But you can also go anywhere else and talk to people. And I think you make people feel comfortable. And if people feel comfortable around you, they're also willing to work with you. I think that's an important part about that. I forgot what your question was.
You answered.
It got a little intense.
No problem. Then we'll talk about the company that you opened in Rwanda and Ghana. But you answer everything. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but no.
But I think it's it's hard because when something that you plan and that you work for really hard doesn't work out, you can feel like a failure.
No, actually, it's not a failure.
Exactly.
Let me tell a story. Me and my wife. Yeah. So we started the business when we have some saving during this process when we work in 14 years, and we start a project. In Mozambique, the Shapash transport, semi-collective transport. Yeah. It's tough in the morning. Yeah. So when people want to go to work and want to go to school. Yeah. We lived this process when we was young to go in the fight to get the bus and this is a tough thing. So we think let's try a solution to take the kids in the bus stops, not entering in the houses, to take them in the bus stop and to take them to school. Yeah. No? But charging few money, not big money like usually they do here. If you want to have like a private car, it's quite difficult. So we tried that, asking some let's say friends and family that we know that they have some money, but they didn't get the job, the project. Yeah. So what we did is okay, let's still work. We work more 2 years and we buy 3 buses. But we bought 3 buses, and we start this, and I think it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and we do 2 routes to catch the kids in the bus stop in the bus, but not the private schools, for public schools, just for public school, because those are the ones who feel this pain. Yeah. So we took them, and even the bus, we have a day that we give some lunch, like some drinks and biscuits for them in the bus. Yeah. Our clients are mothers that works in the markets. Mm-hmm. the kids that lives with the grandmothers, that level, low level, but had like a quality service, in very few price. Like, it's not that business in that time doesn't give us like a revenue, like, okay, we can live with that. No, it's just a realization to see that kids in the schools, get in the school, get back to house. And we have WhatsApp chat with the parents, send them the pictures that, okay, we have these kids that today they took the lunch. It's a funny story.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also installed. We built a truck. We didn't buy.
Yeah.
We built a truck to put in our car, and the father is allowed to see the bus is coming. Kid go out, and also say, okay, my kid is getting the car because we have the tag that you put in the front in the enter the car. You put tag it.
That's incredible.
We did all the software, and the bus.
Yeah.
And that thing doesn't work.
Why didn't it work?
First of thing, it was the gas. Increase the price in the first step. Okay, we have to increase the price for the customers, and we lost some part of them, but immediately they come like 2 times.
Yeah.
In terms of, we didn't have space for.
Really?
Yeah. And then comes some stress because people want to get in the car, but we don't have space. Yeah. And there's no problem. We can put this. No, it's not. We're not allowed to put like 5-10 persons in a small space.
Yeah, the safety.
But they like the service, no. And then increase again the gas.
Yeah.
On that time, it was impossible to continue dealing with that price that we were dealing. Yeah. And what we have to do is to increase to be like the normal ones.
Yeah.
That we didn't want that because we know that our target people are not that, and we had to close. Yeah. We had to close, and that time that day that I make the calls, me and my wife to the parents, say we have to close the business because of this and this and that. I was about to cry, man.
Yeah, of course.
Because the people, when we talk about it, no, please, you can increase the price. I will be with you. Yeah. So you understand that.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's not about. It's I have the cars. I have to maintain the cars. I have to pay the driver.
Yeah. So you're losing money.
Yeah, I'm just losing money. I'm not doing like nothing with that. So I have to close. Yeah. But for me, I'm not feeling like I lost the business. I failed. Because I know that I did big difference in the time that I was working. Yeah. And one day I know that when I'll get more stabilized, I can do that again. Maybe in 1 bus first, and not like I did like 3 in the first time. So maybe start with 1 bus and see how it's going. But when you see the kids, my wife is saying it's 15 minutes, but no problem to do that. When I see I was seeing the kids in the car. It's a big realization. Sometimes I leave the office. I get the bus here just to be in that place, hearing the kids shouting, listening to music, singing, because that environment put you like very confident in what you are doing, man. And you see the kids, bus tech. They call me bus tech boss, something like that. And I was like that. And so today, when I see the kids there, they still shouting me bus tech, but they're in the queue to catch the bus. Yeah. That time was not that. Yeah. There wasn't a bus, you see.
So you still have a bus now?
Just 1 bus that I'm using here in the company for for business, like transport solar panels and some, but still have 2 buses actually, but one of them is not in good situation.
But I think it's very commendable, the business that you set up, first of all, and you're absolutely right that it's not a failure, but it can feel like it. At first. And I think then it's, again, we talk about sort of the tribe you have around you, the people that you have around you that help you understand that it's not a failure. I think also that something that gets lost sometimes is, for these kids, you're still like not a hero, but you are someone that they don't know or they didn't know that cared about them. And that has an impact on their life, right? And the families that you built something for. With our company in Rwanda, we still piloted with 1,000 farmers. So we had 1,000 coffee farmers that committed to saving. So with coffee farming, it's quite seasonal. we did some research, and it turns out about 75% of the income of the coffee farmers we were working with. So most of the yearly income comes in this like 3-month period, right, during the harvest. Because you bring the coffee cherries and you get paid. The difficult thing is if you get all your money at once, you're gonna spend it quicker. Right? So we use some of these techniques that we learned in Cape Town at this behavioral change thing. We go, okay, let's have them, because they want to save, but it becomes, sometimes if I know there's some money coming in and I say I want to save, it doesn't do anything. You have to commit somehow to saving. And we used a commitment where we said, okay, if you want to save, for example, 20%, you come to me and say, I want to save 20% and put it in a savings account. You can still get it the next day, right? So it's still yours. It's not locked away. What we did was we wanted the coffee buyer, so the organization that buys the coffee from you as a farmer, that they would put 20% into your bank account and pay you 80% every time. So if you sell $10 worth of coffee, you get $8 and $2 goes to your savings. It worked in that sense, but there were too many sort of problems with the. It's quite similar. It was just too expensive to manage. Basically, we could, in the way it was, sort of with the tools available, we weren't able to be a sustainable business. What we did was we paid everybody back their savings because we didn't want to be out as a company, but still have their money in the bank. So we wanted to be out as a company and repay everybody their savings, plus the whole year of interest. Because we said, you went through this trouble of trusting us. So I think I'm proud of it, that we were able to repay everybody with their interest. But the feedback we got as well was, it wasn't like, oh, you promised us you would be here and now you're not here. It was, more in the line of, thank you for trying, thank you for caring. Right? And I think that's...
it was the same.
I went on the speech again, but I think, I think about it like that as well. Like that, I think that helps with the feelings of failure. I wish we still lived there. I wish we had a company that was successful. We didn't.
But everything is a process. It's a part of growing. Sometimes there's something bigger and with the best and bigger impact that is coming. But it was important to be in the past to manage that process.
If it was a successful business, I wouldn't be sitting here with you.
Okay, let's go to the break and talk about the Xiphefu.
Yes, please.
And Xiphefu, actually this one is Xiphefu Wi-Fi. We have some to mention. When the kids are born, everyone will call with your name, Xiphefu something, Xiphefu something, Xiphefu. This is Xiphefu Wi-Fi. Okay. This device helps you to manage all the things about the lights and air conditioners in terms of, in the business, for example, in offices. People usually, when they leave to take their kids to school or in the end of the labor day, sometimes they forget to turn off the lights and the air conditioner, and comes the big bills in terms of energy. And we help with this device, this small device that we can manage to program, schedule everything. It works everything automatically, and you have to do nothing, just to leave Xiphefu do his job. And this, and for the companies, Have you ever been? Because I have. Have you ever been the last person to leave the company at night and you forget to switch off the AC? And then you're the first one the next day? And you can feel your heart just sinking when it's like 14 degrees in the office. And you know it costs however much it costs. And that's your fault. And that's your fault. Your fault! But this can change your life.
This is worth its money in gold. Like its weight in gold. This is incredible.
And there's something good on this, it's because even if you are still working and hit the time that Xiphefu have to turn off, then you'll actually turn off. But you have some smart button that you can just click and everything comes up again, but just in your room, not in every building. This is for each compartment. It's very important. And the office manager of the building is able to see in the page that this is on, this is off, and it can also manage. So
how do they control that? So let's say you forget to turn off the AC and you're home. Can you then turn it off while you're home?
You can do, but don't need to do that because actually I avoided using much internet.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know our reality here. But this can do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it does it automatically.
Yeah, it does automatically. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to like, oh, I forgot. No problem. Xiphefu mentor.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's why this exists. And yeah, you can find it on our website or even in our office, www.xiphefu.co.mz. Yeah, and we have more products. This is the first one that hit the companies to the level that we are today. Yeah. And that thing was big before. I can show you the first
incredible.
prototype. Yeah, and today it's like teeny things like this.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to see you, of course, earlier this week and to visit your showroom. Which is, I was blown away. I mean, I'm blown away here too, but in the showroom, just the things, we were looking at these sort of incredible tools that make your life and your business easier and save you money.
Yeah.
And then you told me that you make this all here.
Yeah, here. Yeah. Programming, doing the board like and assemble, even the box we're doing here. Yeah. Because we want to do like a product that mirrored our reality, and help you without having many costs to manage that. Because sometimes you find those kind of devices or companies that provide this service, they're charging like a lot of money for something that for me it's like shouldn't be like that. I would like to someone with low income to have this, but my wife she's always saying no, this kind of business no, but okay, we still manage. I have this dream, but let's see. But okay, this is a Xiphefu device, and you're living here in an apartment?
I'm staying in a guest house.
The guest house, okay, I wanted to give you a
undisclosed location.
No, I want to give you, but in guest houses should buy.
Yeah, I will tell them.
Yeah.
Because if I leave my lights on in the room, it's not good.
Yeah. Okay, we are very close. We are very.
Sounds good. Yeah. How long did we?
I think about 1 hour. 1 hour.
Wow.
was a good conversation. But there's a story that you talked to me before. Before we start this podcast, I would like to share to everyone.
I would love to. I would love to. So for me, this is. I mentioned that I started my career in Tanzania. I have to add that I had no idea what I was doing at the time. I was sort of making it up as I go along. But we were living there and we managed to stay about a year and a half. Mm-hmm. And we made a very good friend, Frank, who's an incredible guy, super friendly. And he was a driver. So he would drive us to work every day and back. And I think every day we paid him like 750 mets. So good, there was a regular income. I think that's an important marker. So he knew that we were not going to change drivers unless he did something really crazy. So we were living there and we were talking about his car that he was renting. So he was renting a Toyota Corolla from the owner. And he'd been renting the same Toyota Corolla for 7 years.
Okay.
And in that time, if he had not been renting that car, he could have bought the car probably 8 or 10 times already, right? So it's absurd to even say it like that because the car was not particularly special. Yeah. But if every week you're earning, let's say $150 and you have to pay $100 for a car, you have no ability to save. Well, I don't know if those numbers are correct, but there's no ability to save, right? So if you're spending most of the money on renting the thing that's making you money, you're sort of trapped. Yeah. If you stop renting it, you stop making money. But if you keep renting it, you keep having to pay for it. So we talked about, he talked about his ambition. His dream was to own his own car. Because if you own your own car, you don't have to pay these monthly amounts, right? You do have to pay up front, but inevitably you will start earning more money. Yeah. So we worked something out where my wife and I were able to pay for the next, let's say, 3 to 5 months ahead of time for our trips every day. And he used that money and his own savings and I believe some money from another client to buy a car, and he bought a different car. So he didn't buy a Corolla, he bought a Noah.
Toyota Noah. It's a minivan. Yeah.
It's, I'm not advertising. I probably shouldn't. He had a small car and he bought a big car.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's what made it unique. Is there were no bigger sort of taxis in the area where he was staying, and that allowed him to pick up more people, to be unique compared to the other taxis. And he earned back the money relatively quickly and paid us back in full. We're still friends to this day. And what happened was we left Tanzania and we moved back to the Netherlands. And I called him like 5-6 months later and I said, "Hey, Frank, what's up, dude? How's life? How's Maria? How are the kids?"
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Yeah, I bought a second car."
Yeah.
And I was joking, like, "How do you drive 2 cars?" And he said, "No, but I have 2 drivers because I bought a plot of land near the airport." So he used to live on his landlord's sort of property in small rooms, let's put it that way, with his family. And he was able to buy this property. And a few years later, I visited him, and he had a 4-bedroom house on that property.
Yeah.
And,
and
some trees outside and a kitchen, and he was building a second house next to it. Yeah. And for me, it shows so much the value of being ready for an opportunity when it comes. Mm-hmm. To have an ambition to know where you're going. Because Frank knew exactly what he was doing. It was just taking a longer time because he could only take a little bit of money at a time. And just through his hard work and perseverance and being sure that, when the opportunity came, he was able to use it. He was able to really work himself into a different sort of life. And I think for me, I've noticed, I don't think money solves every problem. I don't think money solves every business's problem. Yeah. But I do think that when the right people, and I do think everybody is the right people, so when people receive an opportunity that fits sort of their ambition and the work that they've been doing, and they remain committed, that's a way to truly impact your life, and you could potentially impact other people's lives. And that's why we talked about that. They're working in 20 plus countries or whatever. When I came back from Tanzania, I started working at a company where it was a foundation where my role was to work with small businesses across the world, actually, but mostly active in Africa, to get them ready for finance, get them ready for investment, and to find investors worldwide to invest in those businesses, usually small amounts. But that's my conviction, is that can make a big difference.
But that small amount can change lives. Yeah. Frank's example. Yeah. That is a good example, and we have been doing a good job. Thank you.
Let's hope so. But
I've been doing a good job on that. Yeah, I think actually it's in your character. It's something that you're doing like naturally. It's not something that you are doing like as a job, but it's like you're doing like it's you.
I think so. And I think, we talked about me growing up abroad and sort of living in different cultures. And I think very much my parents, I worked with my dad, and I think that's where that sort of comes from, is just being exposed to other cultures, to people, to speaking, listening. I think that's an important thing that a lot of people don't do when they go somewhere, especially if you fly in for like a week. You come in and you feel like, okay, I'm important, I have to tell people what to do. Yeah. But the actual thing you have to do is come in and listen. And I know how stupid that sounds when I'm on a podcast talking the whole time.
No, but I saw you listening many times when I was speaking. I was like, okay, it's getting. Yeah. But it's good. But actually, you are the one who changing lives here, not me. But
I think everybody has a role to play.
Yeah.
In that. It's not me or you doing a certain thing. It's the community that brings you, or the community that helps you.
And everybody have like a specific role and a specific part of the change. Even in business, there are people that are come to you to change your life and your business in a specific way, and there are other people that come in another way. So if you manage good that, you can achieve like in high levels.
I think that's a really positive thing to
Yeah.
say. Is no matter how big or small the impact is you
Yeah.
can have on people, make sure it's a positive one, because
Yeah.
you can also have a negative impact. So it's another side of the coin. But if you're going in the right direction, I think you build. You build it. I think this. Can I just say that I've been very impressed by the work you're doing.
Oh, really?
And I think that's why I'm here. I'm here because I invited myself. I really want to say that because I think it's really important to have entrepreneurship, to start businesses that solve problems, and especially to be creating them for the market that you're in. So it's one thing to buy something from abroad that might be for a different use case, a different situation, and trying to adapt it to here. But it's so important to build things specific to the challenges or the sort of opportunities you see here.
Yeah, thank you for that.
It's absolutely insane to me that you guys can make this, and it's something I use at home, and I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you.
I think you're doing beautiful things.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, we are ending this podcast, but still missing something. Just give a tip for the young entrepreneurs.
I'm just going into my database of tips, and I feel like I have to give a really good one. No, I think
actually during the conversation you gave more many of them, but I need the Dutch one.
Yeah,
just to complicate yourself.
I think everybody knows, and you know as well. Like obviously it's hard work. Obviously it's dedication. Obviously it's dealing with challenges that come in your way. But I think the most important thing you have to do it with is sort of, how do I say it? You're not going to do it alone. You're not going to do it alone. So if you keep that in your mind, and you never know who is going to present an opportunity for you in the future. You never know who you're going to become great friends with or business partners with or whatever. Treat everybody well. Yeah. And tell everybody about your journey, because there's always people that are going to hear something and go, wait, I know this guy that did this one thing 3 years ago. Chat with him. And I think that's the most important thing. It's not networking, it's being a good person.
Oh, it's not networking, it's being a good person. Yes, it's a good advice, and we're going to take it. Yeah. And thank you again to be in the podcast of Xiphefu Cast.
I'm so excited. This was my first podcast.
Oh,
finally at age 40, a dream come true.
And then be a part of that. So remember when you do the biggest podcast, I start from the small podcast there in Mozambique.
Well, I think when this podcast is the biggest, I'll come back.
Okay, thank you. And thank you guys to being here. Obrigado mais uma vez por terem estado neste podcast. Foi em inglês, eu sei, mas de quando em vez temos que variar os elementos. And
you will subtitle underneath. It's going to take some time, but you can do it. You can start today. Yeah.
No, I can leave that for Facebook and for YouTube. They're doing this, but they're not doing well.
It's not great.
Yeah, but actually you can catch something. Yeah. I can try it for you. But
let's see.
Let's see. It's a 1 hour something. Yeah. Okay. Easier,
yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
Yeah.